let's talk about connections. Which nodes can be linked together? The principle is very simple. A connection can only be established if the input and output ports have the same data type. First, delete the value node we just added. Double-click to add a string node from the search. This node outputs data in text format, so it cannot be connected to ports like with, which only accept numeric input. Even if you write 5512 in the string node, it won't work because the types do not match. Even though they might both represent numbers, ComfyUI distinguishes between several different types. Let's add a number node. It provides 3 output types. int stands for integer values, such as 0, 1, or 2. Float stands for floating point numbers, like 1.1 or 2.2. Number is a union type, meaning it can accept both float and int. This makes type matching more flexible. Parameters such as image dimensions only accept integers, so only the int output can be used for specifying width and height. When using parameter nodes to adjust values, we can pair them with math operation nodes to dynamically generate the result of expressions. For example, set variable a to 512, use a multiplication node to compute a p sub it kit, then connect the result to width input. Attach a show anything node to preview the output. After clicking Run, you'll see the result is 1024. Once sampling completes, a wide image of N224 by 768 will be generated. If you also connect the same value to height, it's easy to produce different aspect ratios or square images, very practical for image upscaling or cropping workflows. Sometimes, you may temporarily not want to use a particular node but don't wish to delete it. In such cases, you have 2 options: disable and bypass. Let's try disabling first. Select the math node and press Ctrl+M. The node becomes semi-transparent. Clicking Run will immediately throw an error stating image size not provided. This is because a disabled node does not supply any data to downstream nodes, so its output is unavailable. Unless downstream nodes have optional inputs or default values, disabling is generally only used on output nodes. Bypassing is more common. Select the node and press Ctrl+B. The node turns magenta to indicate it is bypassed. Run the workflow again. The Show Anything node works as before, but the image size node throws an error. That's because a bypassed math node causes downstream nodes to read the previous node's value directly, and that value may not be of the expected type. After adjusting the setup and rerunning without multiplication, the resulting image will be 5512 by 5112. To restore a node to normal, click the small button in the node's Quick Actions menu or press Ctrl+B again. When working with standalone number nodes, there is a very handy feature called Reroute. It lets you conveniently change the input source for a node on the left without having to disconnect and reconnect each time, especially useful for parameter tweaking or comparative testing. Right-click on the output port of the math node and add a reroute point. A small node appears with only 1 input and 1 output. Now duplicate a number node, set its value to 768. If you want to use this value in your workflow, simply connect its output to the reroute point. When you click Run, you'll get a 768 by 768 image. Another tip to keep your workflow tidy: use the getNode and setNode nodes provided by the KJNodes plugin. In complex workflows, these nodes can substantially reduce the number of connections required. Double-click to add a set node. Connect the integer output of a number node, then name the constant width. Add another set node, name the constant height. Whenever you need to use the width and height, simply add 2 getNode nodes, select the corresponding constant names, and connect them to the width and height ports of the image size node. After running, the generated image does not change. The system reused previous cache, which means this approach has the same effect as direct wiring. This method is convenient, but may slightly reduce workflow readability. If you want to explicitly display the source, right-click on the Get node and select Show Connections to visualize the connections.